Welcome back to Horse Racing Today on Horse Racing Radar TV with myself, HRT Rich at Twitter. We could use a few more followers over there. I got stuck on 165. I don't know what I got to do, Terry. Yesterday was an interesting day, right? Because you said the folks on TVG were talking about that there is a pick 5 in the opening leg.
Yeah.
They Equibase listed a pick 5 for $300, I don't know, some $1,000. And then there was a pick 4, but no pick 5.
No pick 5.
Didn't make any sense. And I made it through.
You did. You won it, but there was nothing to win. So
I won $1, it said. It was a refund. So that's worse than going all and getting the favorite.
That's it. Yeah.
But if you had played the opening pick 4, I went single, 3 horses, 2 horses, 1 horse. On that opening pick 4, I paid like $110, and that would have been a $3 bet. So
yeah,
I should get credit for that.
You should. And then we both hit that pick 4, and that starting with the second race paid $565.
Indeed, that was a nice one there too. Hello, how are you today, Kristen? Thanks for joining us once again. I want to say hello to Armando Garcia. He's definitely rooting for us today. Thank you, number one. Yes, indeed, we appreciate that. Also want to say good morning to Aminona, everybody joining us today for round 2 Tuesday, terrific Tuesday at Parx with Terry. As always, before we get cracking with that, however, Terry, we got an updated new site. If you haven't had a chance to go over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet, go check that out. Use the link down in the description below for today's free picks. Hollywood Gaming, Mahoning Valley Racecourse. The best bet in the opening race there, More Crafty. The number 5 horse. So keep an eye on that at about 11:55 p.m. Eastern. That's coming up. That's probably happened already, right there.
Oh, maybe.
11:55 p.m. Eastern, 12. Yeah, that would be 10:55 p.m. our time, right? No, 12:55, 11:55. All right, no, about a half an hour from now.
Yeah, 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's a good thing my handicapping skills are on par with my time management skills, apparently. Good morning to Haikin as well. Nice to see you today. Well, we're all here for one thing, Terry, that unites us, and that today is Parx racing. What's happening in the first race?
Well, this is 1 mile and 70 yards to start with, and it's a maiden claim and $10,000 claiming price with a $19,000 purse for maidens and fillies, maiden fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward.
And I think today, this is the most common distance, if I remember correctly, it or 6 furlongs. There's only 2 races, I think, on the 10-race card that are something other than either 1 mile and 70 yards or 6 furlongs. So keep an eye on the early biases and see how they play out. As it stands now, typically at 1 mile and 70 yards, the kind of horse that does the best has early speed, a whole bunch, 42%. Go gate to wire. There's a bit of a rail penalty, so faux pas could have a faux trip. 2 and 3 play fair. 4 through 7 a penalty. 8 and out are fair. Terry, 10,000 simulations looking for horses that have perhaps some odds at post time that are higher than our simulated odds. So we do 10,000 simulations using speed figures, and then from those speed figures we determine how many times they won the race. Right, the one with the maximum speed figure gets the win. How many times that number actually tops par plus. In this case, par is 68. So far, nobody with that designation. We also take a look at early speed, 10,000 simulations to see who will have the lead. Speed does matter at Parx. We said 42% go wire to wire. And based upon our pace projections, which horses are likely to be in their comfort zone or matching or mirroring their best performances. So the higher the number, the better. Terry, it looks like a trio of them are going to get to the front and the rest will be chasing.
Yeah, that's true. But that 4 shows the very most speed of all. But it may go head to head with that 8. The 4 has an overlay of about 4 to 5 to about 6 to 5. The 8 has an overlay of about almost 4 to 1 to 8 to 1. And the 9 has an overlay almost 6 to 1 to 8 to 1. None of them show any par plus numbers. And 5, 8, and 9 have the best C zones.
Indeed, the 8 horse being the only in here that has 2 greens. Not quite a green go. Pretty close, though. If it had a par plus score, it would be a green go in there for sure, that 8 horse. In the first race, we like to do trip handicapping. So plot out on the track where the horses want to be early on when they run their best. The 1, the 2, the 3, and the 7 so far have not been within 5 lengths of the winner at the finish line. So maybe you can shorten this field up by as many as 4 horses. The others that have shown an interest, fairly balanced. The 5 and the 8 want to be on the lead. The 9 pressure. The 4 and 6 close. Let's see how that plays out. Early on, the 8 horse, Copa Blanco. That one does look like it's the quickest, along with the 4. Little left arrow action over there from that one, the closer that likes to be forward. And then Faux Pas in that as well. At the end of the race, it does look like Battaglia will be coming aggressively, Terry, along with Woke Up a Diva. And then a little bit of a gap there to these, not really a big gap. Finally, your top total pace horses were 75% of the time. We're at 73%. I fabricate a little bit there. The top 4 produces the winner. You actually have 5 because you got a 4th tie here for Jamaican Me Hazel. Terry, who's your top pick to open today on Terrific Terry Tuesday?
Well, I like that number 4 horse, Battaglia. She has a high percentage winning trainer. This trainer wins 20% of the races when dropping a horse down 2+ classes. And her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. She's actually tied with another, has a high percentage winning jockey. Number 5, Dixie Music, is my second choice. She ran second versus Tougher in her last race, drops in class today. Her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. She's actually tied with Battaglia. Then the 1 is my third choice. She has a high percentage winning jockey, and the longer distance can offer some improvement. And then number 9, Jump a Fox, is my long shot. She ran second versus Simmer in her last race at Penn National. And then we got our normal bets in here that we do each race. It's $2 to win on the first pick, $1 exacta box on the first 2 picks, 50-cent trifecta box on her first 4 picks, and a 10-cent superfecta box on her first 4 picks. And I said that on trifecta, I meant 3 picks. But yesterday, Rich hit a really nice superfecta for over like $245 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
for a dime.
Yeah, it was very nice. You need to pay attention to his picks. He did.
You only need one of those maybe a month to cover
That's
the
right.
cost of all of the 10-cent superfectas, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I like the 5 horse here in the opening leg today. I'm going to go with Dixie Music. Last time out, this horse ran par for this level. Going to drop in class. All of the race internals were better across the board. So when you look at the mid pace, the early pace, the late pace, those numbers were an improvement off the prior start. And this time around, chance to be better in the second start after layoff. Battaglia, the favorite right now, according to the folks on the ground and putting money into it at Parx. That went 6-5 at the moment. Understandable that this one is the favorite. Does have perhaps the most upside in the race with just 3 starts so far. This one's dropping multiple classes today. Speed and fade last time out, with a shot to be better in the third start after a layoff. Number 8, Colpa Blanco. There's also another horse in here that's dropping in class that improved all of its race numbers, the mid, early, late pace last time out. Almost always an indication of a horse that's getting into form. And then finally, I'm going to go with the most fun name in the race today, Jamaican Me Hazel, baby. It's the last of the class droppers in here. It was better in the late half of its race yesterday. So going longer today with some late race momentum could work to Jamaican Me Hazel's benefit. Race 2 in the 10 race card. Yesterday was a little bit shorter, right? You had 11 races yesterday and a faux pick 5, Terry.
Yeah.
As I mentioned that a lot of these races today are either 6 furlongs or 1 mile and 70 yards. We're going to get a taste of both of them in the first 2.
That's right. We shorten up to 6 furlongs. It's a claiming race, $12,500 claiming price, purse $23,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upwards, which have not won 2 races.
And over here, you can see indeed the par speed figure for this distance. I mean, for these this qualification, come on, Penn, is 73 right there. So if you can hit 73, this horse can. That's why he gets the yes and dropping in class. But at 6 furlongs in here, Mr. Terry, we're looking for horses that have tactical speed still. 31 out of 100 go wire to wire. There's a very strong rail advantage for Jet Set Juliet. 2 and 3 play fair. 4 and 5, 6 and 7 little bit of a discount. 8 and out, discounted, but not as badly as 4, 5, 6, and 7. Terry, once again, we do these simulations, hopefully, for a reason. Who's got the speed here?
Well, the 1 and the 5 have speed in here. The 1 has the most speed, of course, and then most of them show some kind of speed, except for that 2. And then the 1 has an overlay from about 3 to 5 to 5 to 2, and the 8 has an overlay from about 3 to 1 to 5 to 1. The 1 and 5 show the only par plus numbers, especially the 1 who has a really nice one, and all but the 2 shows some kind of C zone.
And here we see a green go. Green, 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 green. So green goes across the board. In race 2, Terry, we have a race where most of the horses want to be middle back. So if you can get to the lead, you probably got a good shot to stay up there. Jet Set Juliet and Aunt Berra, along with Sandy Q. Those 3, about a length better than the bottom 3. So these bottom 3 better have some late speed. Looks like none of them really do. It looks like the 1 horse not only has the most early speed, has the most late speed as well. Could be difficult to pass, what you cannot catch, Terry. That one does grade out as your top total pace horse, 10 points clear of Aunt Barrera and Sandy Q. So maybe one, an exacta key box, one with the 8-5, and then maybe a trifecta box where you do the same thing. Key box, one with 8-5, those 3 horses. And if they come first, second, and third, like the total pace says, you'd be a winner. Are we going to be a winner, Terry?
Yeah, I like the 8 Aunt Vera as my top pick. She likes Parx racing. She's been in the money 71% of the races there here and won 14% of those starts, finished in the money in 7 out of 7 races at today's distance. Number 1, Jet Set Juliet. Juliet is my second choice. Ran second versus Tougher in her last race. The rail post is winning 22% clip. She has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. Lots of boxes checked off there. Number 2, Practical Rachel is my third pick. She won her last race at Parx Racing, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then 5, Sandy Q is my long shot. She has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 4, 1, 2, 8 with the 3, 7, 8 with the 1, 3, 7 with the 3, 4, 7. That's a $40.50 ticket.
Let's hope that it's another $565 ticket like we got both of us in the second race yesterday. So if you played Terry's and you played mine, you put more than $1,100 into your bankroll yesterday.
That's right.
I'm going to start off with that Gringo horse, the 1 horse, Terry. That one is Jet Set Juliet. Jet Set Juliet is a class dropper and a track dropper and getting a 10-pound weight break today, Terry. Could be a lot to overcome for a horse that has the top total pace, 10 points clear of the next closest horse, and carrying 10 less pounds. That's a 2-length difference. Aunt Berra, the 8 horse, your top selection. My second choice is a left arrow horse. It's one of those horses that closes, but does have enough early speed to be in contention early. That's why I call them left arrow horses. Drop in class today should help Aunt Berra hold its speed longer. Number 5, Sandy Q, one of 2 horses, along with the 1, that does have a par plus score in here. It's another class dropper for high percent trainer Robert Reed. I would have rated this one a little bit higher perhaps, but doesn't do its best work coming off of a rest like today. And then Practical Rachel, and it gets my final call in here, Terry. This one does have the opportunity to be better in its third start after a layoff, and another one today that's catching a little bit of a weight break. I'm going to start my pick 4 with the 1, the 5, and the 8. 1, 7, 8, 1, 7, 2, 3, 4, and 6. And I think that's $36.
Yep.
On to race number 3 we go, Terry. I think we'll have time to get through race number 3 before race 1 starts.
I think we will.
Let's see if we can do it. Again, another one of these in here that's at the 2 common distances today.
Yeah, it's at 6 furlongs again. It's a claiming $7,500 claiming price, a purse of $21,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upwards, which have not won 2 races.
Again, our par speed figure being 71, 6 furlongs, practically looking for stalkers. Got to be in the front half. A bunch go wire to wire, so that's a positive. So if you get to the front, you got a good chance. Pretty strong rail advantage for 5-star Fran. 2 and 3 are fair. 4 through 7 is the worst place to be. 8 and out discounted, but not as bad. Terry, inside speed in race number 3. Could be the way to the winner's circle, and it looks like we have barbell speed here.
That's right. The outside and inside horses show the most speed, especially the outside horse, but they may go head to head. It just depends on who gets the best break and if that 8 can get out in front there. And then the 8 has an overlay of 3 to 5, 4 to 5 to 3 to 1. The 8 and 7 show the only par plus numbers, and all of them show some kind of C zones, although there's a couple in here that are pretty low.
We have another gringo in Cizalino, even rhymes. In the third race, our trip handicapping shows that, a pretty balanced race, although a few more want to be middle back. Again, the bias says, the race shape says that speed should have the edge in this scenario. If that's the case, the 1 and the 8, they have a pretty good speed advantage over the rest. The 1 being a little bit quicker, more lead dependent on the inside, is likely to be the one that gets the jump. So we'll see. And the 8 doesn't need it either. It's a pressure horse. So I think the 1 is the one that takes the lead as they come down the stretch. Sweeping Passion, about a length and a half more late speed than any other horse in the race. That's Cizalino. So according to this, Cizalino should be sitting right off the 1, past the 1, and then the 7 try to run it down at the end. The question is, can it get it done? Maybe, but Cizalino about 3/4 of a length better than everybody else on total pace. Terry, you have the 7 horse Sweeping Passion running it down at the end.
That's right. I like that 7. She has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and the distance won't be a problem for her. And then I like the 8 Cizalino. She ran second versus him in her last race, has a trainer wins 25% of the races in the first race after claiming a horse, and she has a high percentage winning, has the highest last speed rating. And then Shelby Shortstop, the 3, is my third choice. She has a high percentage winning trainer and drops in class today. Black Diamond Rain is my long shot, the 2. She has a high percentage winning trainer, and her best dirt speed is faster than the average speed. No additional bets in this race for me.
I'm going to start with another gringo horse, the 8 horse, Terry. That one's Cizalino, missed by a nose at this level last out. The resume says today the third start after a layoff should be better than that last one by at least a nose. Sweeping Passion, your top pick, my second selection. I was thinking about putting this one maybe on top 2, Terry, but it's shipping in from Penn. Does have a run at Parx. Didn't go that well, but does like the distance too. 8 times out, 1 win, 1 second, and 4 thirds. So 75% of the time in the money. 5-star Fran, the 1 horse, that's the other speed horse. So let's take a little bit of a shot here, Terry. Maybe the second longest on the board. Does have that rail advantage, does have that early speed, does have a strong C zone, Terry. So maybe she does hit at a price. And then finally, number 2, Black Diamond Rain. Was a tough call for me over the 6 horse Brooklyn Heights, but does have a lot less races under its belt. So maybe a little bit more upside availability for me. No picks in here in terms of bets for us, Terry, because we're doing our pick 4s. We only had $16 left over. Race 1 is about to get started over here. They're loading into the gates. So it looks like we're not all that far off. Again, today, if you're going to play some picks over at Mahoning Valley, kindly do so by going to the link down in the description below for guaranteed tip sheet. We're prepping for that Kentucky Derby, folks. So be on the lookout for that. You see the Kentucky Derby Oaks and Derby Guide. We'll be. I love the Kentucky Derby, but boy, do I hate working that week, Terry.
Yeah.
You want to talk about 20-hour days, folks, for like the 4 or 5 days heading into that to get prepped for sure. Hey, if you're joining us for the first time, thank you. Make sure you on Twitter, follow us on Twitter if you're watching on Twitter. Also, kindly, really easily, take your mouse, press the retweet button so folks that would like to watch our show can find out about it. The comments are greatly appreciated because any interactivity helps boost our SEO scores. So when people search on Google or Facebook or Twitter or anywhere, Instagram, they'll find us. You'll find us on all of our social sites down there below. And of course, if you're watching on YouTube, kindly hit the subscribe button. We're less than 50 away from hitting 5,000. We'd greatly appreciate it if you shared with us by hitting the share button, taking that link and pasting it and copying it across your social sites so your friends that don't know they're horse racing fans will find out.
That's right. Melvin
All right.
Torres has got a pick 5 in this race, starting with the 4-8. And then he uses the 1-5-8 and 6-7-8. It's single to 7, and then 2-3-4-6. And want to say hello to Umut. So
Are they going to scratch the 5 maybe in here, Terry?
I don't know, maybe.
Well, they're opening up the gates and stuff.
Oh, trying to get
And
him
the
in.
horses are all like moving away from the gate.
Oh
so
boy.
I'm not quite sure what's going on here.
Well, in the meantime, here's Cossie's picks for the day, and if you want to take a screenshot, please do and see how he does.
Maybe, I don't know, the jockey's off the 4 horse. So maybe that's the one they're going to scratch, where they're like spinning them around behind the. Yeah, the 4 horse is scratched, the favorite.
Oh boy, there goes the favorite. Here's Kristen's pick 5. She liked the 8-5 with the 8-7-4 with the 7-4, as well as the 5-7, 5-8-7, 8-3-7, and 3.
So the 4 scratch. So you're 5, tab 1, 9. Who's your 4th pick, Terry?
Let me see here. My 4th pick would be the 7. Tis tea time. Yeah.
All right. And then for me, I have the 8, tab 6. And then my next horse up would be number 9, Jump a Fox.
That's my long shot.
Well, not anymore.
No.
You know what, though? We can't even put that one in there. That one's scratched too, Terry.
Oh, is it?
Oh, no. Did they scratch the 9 or the 4? Because they have the 4 still in the race on the screen. But what did she say? What are they doing here?
Well, it don't appear to be scratched. The 9's scratched.
I thought she said the 4.
Nope, it's the 9, I think.
The 9?
Yeah.
Let's see. All right, so we got to go back and change that then, no?
Yeah.
All right, so let's go back and change that. So you're 4, 5, 9. No, 4, 5. What are you now?
4-5-1-9. Now it's going to be 4-5-1-7.
All right, so I don't think my picks change at all then. So I'm still 5, 4, 8, and 6. 5, 4, 8, and 6. That 9 scratching helped the 4 odds really drop down there, and out of 3 to 5.
Yeah.
What was the 9? So the 9 horse, Jump a Fox. Yeah, that's out. I thought she said a different name in there. I don't know. I do not know, Mr. Terry. Tomorrow, you and I. Hi, Sadat. How you doing today? Good to join. Thanks for joining us. Let me translate to English for our Spanish-speaking folks. Who won Parx race? We don't know because they haven't run yet, Sergio. We're off to race number 1 over here. It's the 9. Thank you, Kristen. I appreciate that. Melvin, it's the 9. Quack, quack. Come on, old man, get it right. Where do we watch these races? Boy, that's a question we get pretty much every day. The best place to do it is to go on, and this is why not running yet. Yes, sir. This is why we want to, like, there's Abraham Parchments. The best place to watch them is on, if you have an account at like a TVG or a Twin Spires or William Hill or Bet Us or any of the type of accounts that actually show races where you can bet on them. Open an account at a one of those, and you can watch the races. Sometimes you might have to fund it with Bitcoin. Where you are, your currency may or may not be accepted, but I'm pretty sure that most of them accept Bitcoin nowadays. Who can we send me a link to see the races for? That we tried to get a deal. Kadir, how are you? We tried to get a deal with Racing Network TV. I think it's Racing RTN TV. Is that it right, Terry?
Yes, RTN TV.
Yeah. So, but because we get this question every single day, and nobody. Well, I'll just say that the conversation wasn't one of my favorite ones. People should be a little bit friendlier, right?
Yep.
So if you go here to, it's rtn.tv, so you can watch all the races there anywhere. And I think it's like $5 a month. It's really not all that expensive. Subscription packages. Here you go. TV package online. So let's see. The online package is monthly. Looks like if you just want to watch Thoroughbred, $15 or $25 if you want to watch everything. $275 for the year. I'll reach out to them again, see if we can get folks a deal, maybe the first month free or something like that. But so far, those conversations have been anything but fruitful. Rotten fruitful is really more like it.
Yep.
So there's still, I don't know what they had to back the 5-horse in. That's interesting, Terry. You don't want to go in face first. He wants to go in ass first.
Oh boy.
Must be a handsome horse.
Could be.
This first one in too. Interesting that they put the first one in backwards. Wants to see where he's going. And yeah, they have to open the gate for the 1-horse because you don't want to go in. This is quite the delay. We could have did probably 2 more. This is like, it's like being in Florida. Speaking of which, normally on Wednesdays we do Gulfstream, but now that the championship meet has ended, we're going to do Keeneland tomorrow, Terry. Looking forward to that 8-race card. Just know that if there's any short sprints, you just take Wesley Ward and you move on. No need to handicap any longer.
Yeah, I think there is a 4.5 furlong race for 2-year-olds.
On the turf?
Them have been out yet.
Yeah. Wesley Ward, baby. We had on Chantel Sutherland, and she said that she rode Wesley Ward horses, and they come out of the gate. It's just different. She said you have to hold on for dear life because if you don't, they will throw you off the horse.
Yeah, well, he's got the number 1 horse in that second race, and he is the morning line favorite. So,
Wesley Ward with them youngsters, baby. That's like the sun coming up in the east and setting in the west, unless, of course, the moon crosses its path throughout the day. Did you didn't have any access to that yesterday, right, Terry? That was way far from you. The eclipse?
No, we didn't see any of it. So
we had like a partial eclipse here in Chicago. It was kind of interesting. It was like, yeah, I mean, it was kind of like the sun was out. It was bright, but like there was like a filter over it, if you will, and some like long weird shadows. And what's really interesting is that I tell you, my chubby blonde girlfriend is my yellow lab, and she's always giving me kisses when she wants food, particularly, which is always. But like she didn't want to go outside during the like she had her like when it started and all, she had her tail between her legs, kind of like hiding a little bit, and we were outside on the porch looking at it, and I'm like, come on, girl. She didn't want to come outside.
Yeah, they say a lot of dogs are that way. So
yeah, I wonder why that is. What do you think it does? Do you think it's the shadows?
Yeah, probably.
Where do you think that like pressure in their ears? They smell it. What do you think?
Maybe, yeah, maybe, or they sense it. I believe dogs have an extra sense.
They can download it. I give it to you free. It's called GRTV. All right, Melvin, thank you. We appreciate that. We'll have to keep that in mind. And maybe those people will be a little bit nicer to us, Melvin, from RTN now that so let's see. They're off and running. Woke Up a Diva, the 3-horse getting off to a tough start. So hopefully you don't have that one in your picks, folks. Right now, their 4-horse is on the lead with the 1-horse. I'm not really a fan of the way the 4-horse is running, though. Looks a little bit like an old Nova running sideways on the road, but he still has a pretty good lead over everybody else right now. They're going through the opening quarter. Looks like they're going to run. Well, they're not posting any times yet, Terry, so I have no idea what they're going to run. 24, so really not all that fast. Maybe a little bit on the quick side for this class. The 1-horse, your long shot in there, Terry, is second right now, doing pretty good. Looks like the 8-horse is in there now, and third. That one is Culpa Blanco. I don't see the 5-horse anywhere, Terry. It looks like it's up on the rail. 4-horse, your favorite at 4-5, continues to set the tone. Got to slow it down in the second half to 49-2, though its strides are really shortening up there, Terry. Can you see that or not?
Yeah, I'm behind you a little bit. So
yeah, it looks to me like right now, yeah, the 8-horse is moving the best, but the 4-horse still has the lead. 5-horse really isn't doing anything, so it looks like right now it's going to be between the 4 and the 8. The 8-horse has been able, the 4-horse has been able to hold that one off, Terry, up to now. kind of cutting out in its path a little bit, trying to hurt it. They're both whacking the crap out of their horses. As they come down the stretch, it does look like the 4-horse continues to hold the lead. The 8-horse is trying to make up ground. He keeps coming out to him, the 4-horse, to hurt him. The 1-horse on the rail coming back, but this looks like it's going to be the 8-horses. I don't know, the 1-horse. Interesting here, Terry. It's going to be 8-1-4-3, the horse that got off to a bad start. So maybe the one out of there that you want to keep an eye out on is that Woke Up a Diva. Because it got a terrible start and then rallied in there. But the 8-horse, Copa Blanco, the strong horse in terms of the chance to be forwardly placed, tied for the best C-zone, is your winner. What did it look like here in race number 1? 8-horse was down here, Terry, but did have that early speed. So there you go, folks, in the opener. I was maiden claiming 10 races, proving once again that anything can happen.
That's right.
All right, so who won? Who won? One on the 4? No. The 8-horse won the first race.
8-horse won. The 1 ran second, and the 4 ran third.
So both of our third picks would have made a great exacta.
Yeah.
Let's move on to, what are we on? Race number 5, Terry, or 4? 4?
4.
All right, so thanks. Race number 4 on the 10-race card, Terry. This is one of the two that's not either 6 furlongs or 1 mile and 70 yards.
No, it's a little bit longer than 6 furlongs and a lot shorter than the mile and so on. It's a 6.5 furlongs allowance race, $25,000 allowance race, and it's a $32,000 purse for 3-year-olds and upward, which have started for a claiming price of $25,000 or less, which have never won a race other than a maiden or a claiming, or which have never won 4 races.
So at 6.5 furlongs today, we're looking for horses that typically do stalk, but quarter of them do get to the lead and maintain the lead from start to finish. This has a definitive inside to outside bias. It's pronounced. So the closer you are to the rail, the better off you are. So if you're close to the rail in race 4, you have some speed in race 4, you got a good chance. And everybody, Terry, does score an opportunity to get on the lead.
That's right. Most of them show some kind of a speed, but the 7 has the most speed. The 3 has a very small overlay from 2 3/4 to 3 to 1, and then the 7 has even money to 2 to 1. 7, 3, and 1 show the only par plus numbers in here, and they all have some kind of C zones, although the 4 and 6 is pretty low.
And then our trip handicapping for race number 4. Everybody wants to be middle back. So the 1 and 7, Jules in the Bay and Victim of the Night, they do have a little bit more flexibility than the others. They can move forward or close depending upon the pace of the race. So those two might be the ones that have the best trips. Mr. Sandman and Victim of the Night, those two should be the ones that contend for the lead. Although everybody, as we mentioned in here, is pretty close. Only 11 points separating first to worst. So it could be a case where you spin your tires a little bit, you get bumped wide, you might not be able to get to the front. Jules in the Bay and Big John, along with Professor Cool, those 3 have the most late speed, more than a length better than the next 4. Looks like the Poli might be a part of the early pace, but then just back up. At the end of the race, the top total pace score goes to Jewel in the Bay, followed by Professor Cool and Victim of the Night. They grade out a little bit better than this trio here. Once again, we find the 5-horse tailing way behind. So maybe you can X that one out there, Terry. We both think that the 1-horse will get the W here, with the 7 coming in second.
That's right. I like that one. Jules in the Bay won his last race at Parx Racing. The rail post went in 22% clip. And he has the best dirt speed among today's starters, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. Victim of the Night with the 7 is my second choice. Finished 3rd versus Tougher in his last race. Drops in class today. Has the highest last speed rating, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. The 3, Professor Cool's my 3rd choice. Finished 3rd versus Similar in his last race as a favorite, but the trainer wins 18% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back to race again. My long shot is the 5. He finished 3rd versus Similar in his last race, and his best start speed is close to the average winning speed. I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 4. I'm going to use the 137 with the 347 with the 126 with the 248. That's a $40.50 ticket.
So Melvin says that if just looking at Melvin and what he's telling us about so we got to still continue questions about where to watch the races, right?
Yeah.
And so if we look in here, this looks like a place. I put the link in there for the GRTV. So it's in there. You can go ahead and take a look at that, folks, and see if indeed that works out for you as a means by which to watch Parx. And this race, Terry, I like the 1-horse 2 Jewels in the Bay. It's my top choice. Just needs to run back, not the previous race, but the race before that. And could win this race pretty handily. Does have speed, is on the rail. Those two things should work to its benefit. If Victim on the Night was to the inside of the 1-horse, I would have rated it first. But that outside, the inside to outside bias tilts the scales ever so slightly for the 1/7. But this one is a gringo horse, Terry. It is a track dropper. It is a class dropper. It's also going to carry 7 less pounds today. Maybe that's enough to make up for that outside post position. Big John. Back in the day, this Big John stud was a guy in the WWE, was huge. And they used to have this thing where if the WWE came to your town and you got in the ring with them and you could throw them out of the ring, you'd get $1,000. And back then, $1,000 was more than a loaf of bread, which is what bread costs in the United States now. Just kidding, of course, but getting close. But my wrestling coach, Mr. Forte, God rest his soul. Well, I hope he's still alive. But he was a huge man. He was like 6'5", weighed about 275 pounds. And where we lived in the Poconos, a lot of people had these big metal wood-burning stoves in their basements to kind of help with the heat in the wintertime. And because you had to get natural gas delivered anyway, living in the country has its own set of issues. This dude could pick these stoves up all by himself. So he went into the ring, and the folks from the WWE, the WWF at the time, or whatever it was called, told him that he could not try to throw Big John Stud out of the ring, that he had to sign a contract with the WWF in order to do it. So in his honor, Big John, you get the third call from me. But this one will be coming late. Does have solid maintenance workouts between races. Then finally, number 3, Professor Cool. 3 consecutive speed figure increases. Go out and get yourself Barry Meadows' book, The Skeptical Handicapper, if you're into data like I am, and you'll find out the 3 consecutive speed figure increases in a row wins at 15% or more. I call that an alpha angle. I, too, have a pick for Terry. 1-7, I think those are the 2 to beat. 3-6, I think those are the 2 to beat. The next race, I have no idea who the 1 to beat in that third race is. So I just said, you know what, all button, and then 1, 7, 8 in the back end. Pick 5 here for Melvin at Mahoning. Pay attention to that, folks. We appreciate that. There is a link, Ricardo. I just put it in the comment section you see it right here. Make sure you click on that if you are in South or Central or maybe even Mexico. So North, South, or Central America. I don't know if it works in the United States or not, though I suspect you're not asking from there. Race number 5, Terry, what is next for us?
All right. In that race number 5, we're going to go to a mile. It's an optional claiming race, $25,000 claiming price. If you like to put your horse in there to possibly be claimed with a purse of $26,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have started for $25,000 or less, and which have never won 2 races, or claiming price of $25,000 and which have never won 2 races.
Yeah, this is the other one that's not 6 or 1 mile, 70 yards. So stalkers, again, you want to be middle forward. Again, still a ton. More than 40% win, gate to wire. Get the lead, keep the lead, get the big check. There is a strong rail bias for the archer or the prey. 2 and 3 play fair. 4 through 7, they take a hit, Terry, like whack a mole. The best place to be is 8 and out. So show me some inside speed, Terry. Show me some outside speed, Terry. It looks like the outside speed scratch. So there's one left that meets that criteria.
Yeah, that one shows some the most speed is in the inside there, but the 1, 3, and 6 have the most speed in here. The 3 has an overlay of 2.5 to 1 to 4 to 1, and the 4 has an overlay from that's about 7 to 5 to 2 to 1. The 4 also has the only par plus number in here, and all but the 7 have Z zone numbers.
Yeah, some pretty strong ones in here. We're looking for a number at over 50% or higher. That's what we're looking for in our race shape, Terry. Balanced race, though still a little bit more weighted towards the back. So again, speed is the bias. The way the race shapes up, speed should have the edge. Jet's Dream is the quickest, along with Volatility. A little bit of a gap down there to the Archer of the Prey, but really only 7 points from first to worst. Again, this is going to come down to who gets out of the gates the quickest. Late speed, where this one might be one, is 2 Minute Lick, the horse that we saw with the big overlay. It is the Sesame Street horse. And here, the Lone P, unlike all of the others. And then finally, our top total pace paints a picture, Terry, of, again, a very competitive race, except for that early speed, Jet's Dream. Everybody within 7 points get forced wide, get blocked, get bumped. Could be the difference between finishing first or finishing fifth. Terry, we both see the same first two.
Yeah, I like that 3 Volatility. Broke in and was bumped at the start and still finished third versus Tupper in her last race. Drops in class today, and her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters, actually tied with another 4 minute, or number 4, the 2 Minute Lick is my second choice, ran second versus similar in her last race. Her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. She's actually tied with the 3. And she has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. Tempest Rising, the 7 is my third choice. She's finishing the money in her last 5 races and won the last race. And then Mary Chill, this 2 is my long shot. She won her last race at Parx Racing, and she has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. No additional bets for me in this race.
So the first race, who won the first in par? The first race at Parx was won by number 8.
That's right.
Numero ocho. I don't know how to say pink in Spanish, so they get kind of rosa, but it's not really rosa's red. Anyway, who won the first? Someone tell the truth. The 8 horse. What do you mean? Someone tell the truth. Why would we not tell the truth? I mean, you can easily verify that one. All right, race number 5, Terry. For me, I also like the 3 horse in there. It's my top selection. Volatility. The trainer and the ownership just bought this horse for $50,000. They're going to drop him into an optional claiming race of $25,000. And the horse is not in. So the tell here, Terry, as they say in poker, I don't know what I was going to say there, but I was going to say Parx. But if the horse was in for a claim, you'd see the $25,000 right here. Let's see, is anybody in for a claim here? So like here, Jet's Dream is in. So you could buy Jet's Dream if you want, but you cannot buy the 3 or the 4. So the drop off of the $50,000 price tag is not concerning to me at all. 2 Minute Lick, the 4 horse, the one that is the only par plus horse with an overlay in there. Terry, at Parx 3 times out, a win, a place, and a show. So that adds up to 100% in the money. Everywhere else, that horse has ran 6 times, only has 1 second. So I guess that qualifies for a horse for the course. This one is prepping for 2 works since its last race, since January the 7th. The first up record off a rest says the horse is going to run well, but more likely to finish second or third than win. I don't think it's won yet with some fresh legs. Jet's Dream is the one that should get to the lead on here, Terry. A little bit of a price. 2 of its best workouts prepping for the first race after a short rest. So gets to the lead, maybe going to come to life today. And then finally, number 2, Marichil, 3 consecutive speed increases in a row. I just told you about the Barry Meadows book on what that means. Z pattern, a little bit of strong early pace, a little bit of rest in the middle of the race, and then following it up with a second wind. And it is the most lightly raced horse in the field, so the potential for the most upside. Let's go on to race number 6, Terry. 1 away from the late pick 4, but we are going to go back to the most common distances today.
That's right. We're going back to 6 furlongs. It's a maiden race, $40,000 maiden race for purses, $40,000 for registered Pennsylvania bred maidens, 3-year-olds.
Yes, those PA breds going to run for 40 grand. 6 furlongs does favor horses that get forwardly placed, usually horses that break their maiden. More often than not, you're going to find them in the front or towards the front. So I'd expect speed to do well. Hero Spirit, first-time starter on the rail. If it has some speed, could take advantage of a bias there. 2 and 3 play fair. 4 through 7, again, that's the worst place to be. 8 and out, and a little bit of improvement off the middle horses, Terry. Again, a lot of horses here making their first, second, or third starts, so the data might be a little bit suspect or not as full as it ought to be. But if it's accurate, Terry, it looks like one's going to be the one they all have to chase down here, and that's the 2.
Yeah, that's right. They all show some speed, but that 2 shows a lot more than the rest of them. The 2 also has an overlay of about 1 to 1 to
1 to
5.
1,000. Yeah,
1 to
that
9.
one doesn't even need to race.
No, it doesn't. It's 5 to 2. And then the 2 shows the only par plus number, and then only the 7 shows a small C zone number.
Yes, Lord, it's chilly. Might like the way this race plays out. So a lot of horses, again, lightly raced in here. So you could see a lot of changing up here. It does look like the 1 and the 3, they're going to do it for the first time. The 4, 5, and 7, they haven't been within 5 lengths of the winner when the race was over. The 2 and 6 showed they want to close. So today, the 2 horse should be the one on the early piece. Terry, a little bit faster than Easter Bet. Those 2 also have the most late speed in there, Terry. So they also grade out as your top 2 total pace horses, well above the rest. So I say 6-2, Terry, along with the first-time starters. That might be the best way to play this race. How did you play it?
Yeah, I like the 2 Lucky Linus. He ran second versus similar in his only start. Best start speed is fastest among today's starters, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. And then 6 Easter Bet. Finished third versus similar in his last race, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. He actually tied with that too. The 1 Hero Spirits, my third choice, as a first-time starter whose dam has 3 winners from 4 starters. His breeding suits today's sprint distance, and he has a high percentage winning trainer. The 7 is my long shot Lord. It's chilly. He has a high percentage winning trainer, and he has a good workout on March 30th. No additional bets for me in this race.
So, I live in Chicago, Terry, right? The Lord, it's chilly reminds me. I took a part-time job because I like to play golf. Got to get out of the house. I've been working way too long home remotely, living, in my tight quarters, spending some days like 18 hours in this little box. But anyhow, Lord, it's chilly. One of the regular customers we come across, a really nice guy named Antonio, spent the last month down in Florida. So we had a little bit of a nice break of weather on the weekend here in Chicago. Got into like the upper 50s. So for all of us, it felt warm, right?
Yeah.
This guy Antonio comes in. He's got the cap on, the heavy jacket on. For all of us in Chicago, we're running around in t-shirts because we finally got a nice day. And he's coming up from Florida dressed like it's winter. So Lord, it's chilly, kind of reminding me of that. But for me, I'm going to go with the 1 horse, Terry, in here, Hero Spirit. It's a first timer. Mama makes some winners. And that workout on February the 23rd tells me that this horse has just as good a chance as any of the others to win in here. The 2 horse, it's going to be your prohibitive favorite, Terry. But you know where it's coming in from?
Penn National.
Yes. And I'm not a big fan of those Penn to Parx angle. But of all of the other horses that are in this race, many of which did run at Penn before, any improvement from its debut, a little rule of thumb here, folks, when you're looking at horses making their second start, if you take out your pencil and you take this early speed figure here and you add 5 to 13 points, this horse could run potentially anywhere from an 84 to a 92. And if you look at and compare that to speed up here, it says that horse should run above par. Now, you discount that a little bit, maybe 3-4 points because it's making that Penn to Parx angle, and you have an 80 to 88, still well within that number. That's why I still think the 2 horse, even though it's coming in from Penn, will be the one to beat. But I'm going to try to beat it with some horse with better odds. The 4 horse, Warrior's Ted. This one has room to improve in its second start. Last time out, the horse was forced wide, so maybe they didn't like that as a rookie. A better trip today for Warrior's Ted. Could make the upset bid and then find the Easter Bet. It's another horse that's coming in from Penn, finished well behind the 2 horse last time out. And the 2, I think, because it's more lightly raced, has more potential upside. So I think it would be surprising if Easter Bet did beat Lucky Linus. I'm going to do a trifecta here with my remaining $16, 1-2-4 with the 1-2-4, and then all in the last leg. That was $15, by the way, so I have $1 left over, Terry. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Christopher D'Souza in race number 5, going back. Good to see you again, Christopher. Likes the Archer of the Prey with those 7 and a 3. In race number 6, likes the 7 horse, Lord, it's chilly with the 2 and the 6. Hello, Loloy. I hope I got that right. Race number 7, Terry, starts the late pick 4. Do we got time for that one?
Yes, I think we do. Let me look here. Yes. Let me see.
Yeah, we got plenty of time. All right.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Race number 7, kicking off the late pick 4. I think we're going to have until the close of the show nothing but $1.70.
That's right. It's $1.70 here. It's a maiden $50,000 purse. It's for maidens 3-year-olds and upward.
Yes, indeed, and make me spill my tonic there, my elixir, my Diet Mountain Dew, so I can get my caffeine. I just can't stand the taste of coffee for whatever reason. But at 1.70 miles, Terry, again, you want to be a stalker. Early speed is the best way to win. 42% of the time, wire to wire. Rail penalty, so Colville could struggle a little bit. 2 and 3, they rebound to fair. 4 through 7, they are also penalized. The best place to be in race number 7 is wearing an 8 or higher. In this race, the 6-horse scratching, still 8's wearing an 8. Terry, where's the speed today?
All right. Looks like that 7 shows quite a bit of speed, but also the 1. So you just don't know who could be head to head to that quarter pole. The 1 has an overlay of a 2.5 to 1 to 5 to 1. The 2 has an overlay from almost, about almost 4 to 1 to 4 to 5. And the 8 has a small overlay of about 6 to 5 to 7 or 8 to 5. The 1 shows the only par plus number, and all but the 5 show some kind of C zones.
Yes, with the 3 and the 8 grading out as the best in race number 7. Terry, 138 want to be on the lead. 245 want to close. So we have a barbell race. The 7-horse, it hasn't been interested in finishing within 5 lengths of the leader, and it starts so far. At the beginning of the race, we're looking for the 1-horse, Colville, the rail horse, to be the one on the lead. Although plenty of competition, Terry, except for maybe Max Barley. Everybody within 6 points of one another. That 7-horse, Bigger and McCracken, might be a spoiler for the speed horses up in there. Late speed goes to Book Runner, a little bit quicker than Tricolor. There's that favorite, that horse on the rail again, Terry, with some late speed in contention with the other 2 closer types here. You might not be able to pass what you can't catch. Cherry Colville, that one's a little bit better than Book Runner. That's a little bit better than Tricolor. It's a little bit better than Big Earn. It looks like a theme here, Terry. So a very competitive one in race number 7, Terry. I don't think it's going to be competitive, though, at the end of the day. I'll tell you why, and you'll tell us why you think the 8-horse is going to win, too.
Well, I like the 8-horse because it drops in class today and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then the 2, Tricolor, he ran second versus Simmer his last race, has a high percentage winning jockey. I like the 4 as my third. He's White Walker. He can improve while trying dearth. He has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 24% of the races in the first race after claiming a horse, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. The 5 is my long shot, Book Runner, and Book Runner is finished third in his last race and switches to high percentage winning jockey. No other additional bets for me today.
But you do got your pick 4 here.
Oh, I'm sorry, I do. Yeah, I'm using the 2, 4, 5, 8 with the 1, 3, 6, 8. I'm going to single the 1, and I'm going to finish up with the 1, 2, 4, 5, 8, 9. It's a $48 ticket.
It's interesting because in that third leg, you're singling the 1. I don't have the 1 in my picks. So one of us is going to go shot down in flames. We're going to go all AC/DC on that one. Although that song's probably not about losing the third leg of a pick 4. I'm going to start with the 8-horse too, Terry. You mentioned it's a class dropper, but it's also a track dropper coming in from the Naira circuit. It's Kendrick Carmouche's only mount today. He's coming in for 1 ride. He's coming in to win, Terry. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I really contemplated singling up the 8-horse here in my pick 4, but Colville is the only horse that hit par, so you have to put that in consideration. Could be on the lead, but the rail is a little bit of a stinky place to be. Number 7, Big Earn McCracken, Terry. Yeah. This one maybe has the most upside in the race with only 2 races so far. Room to improve in its second start after layoff, after major gains from the first race to the second race. And on top of that, has some solid workouts. Finally, White Walker. It's another track dropper. It is a class riser, however, in 3 works since being claimed for a trainer who wins at over 20%. First off the claim, I'm going to go 178, 136, 23 over the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 11. That one is $45, Terry. And both of us will be watching that last race with the 9th race with great interest if we're both alive at that point. And usually what happens in one of those, Terry, is one of us will win that one. And then in the next leg, a horse that the other guy has that you don't have beats you.
That's right.
So race number 2 about to get started. You like the 8 horse. I like the 1 horse. The folks at the track have the 1 horse. Well, there's the 2 horse that got off to a terrible start there, Terry. The 1 horse has indeed, as we expected, the Parx and the Gringo horse has got to the lead. The 8 horse, the other one that we thought would be in contention for the lead. Those two duking it out, Terry. We got to hope that the 5 horse is in there in second place right now, Terry. So the 1 horse continues. The Jet Juliet is on the lead. They go to opening quarter in 22 and quick, so maybe a little bit on the fast side. Could open the door for a horse to come off the pace. It does look like right now the 7 of the horses in the back of the pack is moving the best. The 8 horse yet has not to make its move. It's making its move now, though. Terry is going to try to close in on that 4 and go by. The 1 horse continues to hold the lead. The jockey asking him for more. They went through the opening half in a pretty brisk 46 and 4. This race looks like it's going to come down to the 1, the 5. The 8 is coming pretty aggressively right now, Terry. The 1 horse, the jockey's not really asking him to run. He's trying to get him to straighten out a little bit. Here they come right now down the stretch. The one that's moving the best right now is the 8 horse, Terry. The question is, are the line going to come first or is the 8 going to come first? It is going to be the 1 horse. 1, 8, 5, and 2, Terry. 1, 8, 5, and 2. We both have the superfecta in there, Terry. We're both alive in our pick 4s.
Yeah.
And I had the ice cold superfecta, Terry, but ain't no way in the world that superfecta is going to be worth $252.
No, you're
might
right.
be worth $2.50.
Yeah, I got the exacta. You got the exacta. We both got the exacta, so that's good.
Yeah, we're both alive in the pick 4, right?
Yep.
Yes, indeed. So, all right, the Gringo horse collecting the trophy in race number 2. So in case you're watching and you want to know who won the second race, the 1 horse won the second race. The 8 horse came in second, the 5 in third, and the 2 in fourth, because I know we're going to get asked about 10 times of who won the second race, right?
That's right.
All right.
And good morning, Christopher D'Souza. How are you today?
So here we have Melvin Torres, second pick 5, starting in race number 6. All right. So you and I are off to race number 9 now, Terry. Is that right?
Yep.
Or are we off to race number 8? We're off to race number 8. Yes.
Race 8. Yes.
Again, another $170.
That's right. It is, and it's optional claiming, $35,000 claiming price, $52,000 purse for 3-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 2 races other than a maiden claiming starter or state bred, or which have never won 3 races, or a claiming price of $35,000.
All right. As we said, you want to be fast. 42% of the time at 1 mile and 70 yards, you win. There is a little bit of a rail penalty, so be careful for that. It's a little bit of a bonus. Fair for 2 and 3, 4 through 7 penalty, 8 and out fair, Terry. So $170 in race number 8. A lot of horses with some early gas.
Yeah, you look there. The 3, 9, and 1 show some similar speeds. The 1 has an overlay from about 4 to 5 to 7 to 2. 1, 8, 6, and 5 show part plus numbers. And all but the 7 and 8 show some kind of C zones.
Indeed. And then as far as our pace goes for the trip handicapping, this race is kind of heavily tilted towards the left. So a lot of horses that want to be forwardly placed. The 1 horse being the Sesame Street horse. Again, one unlike all of the others. So it does have some versatility. Can pilot or co-pilot depending upon the early speed. Looks like Simovic, that one does have the most early pace of the front runners. So the 2 and 1 are going to dog it with it because they're 2, it's inside. So they can make life difficult for Simovic. Late speed, a bunch of them in here, Terry, in a tight mix between Time to Cruise. And of course, the best named horse today, Rich's Way, Road Trip to Nowhere, tough tickets. They're in there as well. Our top total pace horse, Terry, Road Trip to Nowhere, along with Time to Cruise. Those 2 are 5 points better than everybody else. So a nice 1-6 exacta box. Terry, that's how I did it. You did it a little bit differently.
I did. I like the 1 as my top pick, Road Trip to Nowhere. He likes Parx racing. He's been in the money 75% of the races here. that he's ran, and he's won 31% of those. And then he likes the distances he's finished in the money 82% of the time at today's distance, and he's won 24% of those starts. I like the 8 Tough Tickets as my second choice. Finished third in his last race. He has an early running style that will help his chances, and he will improve at the shorter distance. And then number 3 is my third pick, finished third in his last race as a favorite, but the trainer wins 32% of the races when bringing a beat favorite back again, and he switches a high percentage winning jockey. The long shot I have is the 6, which is Time to Cruise. He ran second in his last race. He has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. No additional bets for me here.
I'm going to start with the road trip to nowhere. I think that would be fun to do. I don't know necessarily I'd want a road trip to nowhere, but I would love to just hop in the car and then just kind of like wander around and go to track to track to track, filming it and loading it up on YouTube. So if anybody who's won that $1 billion out there in Portland, if you're a horse racing fan and you want to sponsor me, I'm willing. All right, road trip to nowhere, Terry. Anything close to his last race when he ran the top last race speed figure, that was 12 points better than anything else. If it comes close to repeating that race, it's back-to-back W's. Time to Cruise, the 6 horse, gets the second call for me today. Terry might be moving up in class, but a bullet workout between races says he might be sitting on a big one today. Simovich, the 3 horse, drops in class last time out. Ran about a second faster than he did in the prior start. That combination is usually a pretty strong candidate for the W. And then finally, Terry, I could not pass on this horse. No matter what, was a tough call for me over the 8. But Rich's Way is the best named horse on the track today. And it is dropping in class, Terry, after being better across the board. All of its race internals were better, along with its fractions. So not only a great name, but cause to back the horse. 2 to go. So the late double starting in race number 9, Terry. And again, as I mentioned, the last 4 races, the late pick 4 is the $170 pick 4.
That's right. That's what it is. It's an optional claiming race, $16,000 claiming price, first $50,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won a race other than a maiden claiming starter or state bred, or which have never won 2 races, or a claiming price of $16,000.
Yes, and again, we have a par speed figure of 92. Mile and 70 yards, 40% go wire to wire. The rail kind of stinks. Everything else is sort of fair. So, Terry, who's got the speed in the first leg of the late double?
Well, that 8 shows the most speed, but most of them have some kind of speed. The 8, along with the 1, 2, and 3, show some speed. The 2 shows an overlay from almost 3 to 1 to 3.5 to 1. The 3 shows an overlay from about 4 to 1 to 8 to 1, and the 2, 1, and 3 show the only real par plus numbers. All of them show some kind of a C zone number, but the 1 and 7 are kind of low.
Looks like we're going to get a best bet here from Terry in this spot. We'll talk about why in a little bit. Looking at this race, the 2 horse Treble Clef, is the lone speed horse. The 3 horse Capo could be right there too. Those 2 might have a really tactical race edge over the rest of the field because everybody else prefers to press or come off the pace, Terry. The 2 and the 3, they might not get the lead. That might be the 8, My Last Mission, although the 2 and 3 are going to be right there as well. Rusty's G550. That one could give look, a lot of horses in here with some similar speed, Terry. So they might get after it early on. That could cause trouble for the 2 and 3 up front. Late speed might get an edge if they do have a pace melt up. And Modern Era has by far the most late speed, but boy, that one's going to be off the picture, Terry, when the race gets started. So if you're back in the 7, better be patient because it's going to be coming late and you won't see it at the start. Keeping It Country, the closer, Terry, along with Respirator, Rusty's Give G550. Those are your top 3 treble clef in there. Those 4 are you got a tie there, Terry. So usually that's where your winner comes from, Terry. You got the one at the top of the list, on the top of your list today.
Yeah, this is my best bet of the day, and my best bet of the day won yesterday, paid $6. So that was pretty nice. I know you're not a fan of horses that come in from Penn National, but this horse coming in from Penn National is finished in the money in his last 8 races and won 4 of those starts. So he's very competitive and switches to high percentage win.
I could win a race at Parx, Terry.
Anyway, number 2, Treble Clef, is my second choice. He won his last race at Parx Racing and has a high percentage winning jockey. And then Rusty's Give a 50, G5, G5.
G550. Rusty gives
Yeah.
it 50. I want to meet Rusty if he's handing out 50s, baby.
Yeah, I would too. Anyway, he's the 9 horse. He's won his last race at Parx Racing, has a dirt speed. His dirt speed's faster than the average winning speed. My last mission at 8 is my long shot. Won his last race at Parx Racing and has a high percentage winning trainer. I'm going to bet $16 to win on the 1.
I have the 2 horse Terry. I have the 1 and 3rd, and you're going to know why, right? Because I don't like those horses coming from Penn. Treble Chef, a repeat of its last race, that 2 horse, where it ran the top last race speed figure, 9 full points ahead of everybody else. And won that one, I think, by 14 lengths. So if he does that again, going to be another big win. Number 3, Capo. This one is making the classic 3rd start after a layoff, the first handicapping angle every rookie learns. Dropping from a non-graded stakes race. In fact, this is going to be the lowest level of its 5-race career. Today, I think the difference maker is it's getting that first dose of the Bold L Lasix. Keeping a country. There you go, Terry. There's that 1 horse shipping in from Penn. Probably going to be your favorite. It is rising in class. And as you mentioned, he's won 4 of 8 races. So you cannot question its form. I hope for you, it does win. And because it's a Penn shipper, the odds aren't, 6-5. I hope they are 3-1 or higher. And then finally, the 6 horse Respirator, 15-1 in there, Terry. It's a class dropper. Has some late speed on his resume, Terry. Going to stretch out from 6 furlongs. And in this race, won't be too far off the pace. So those late legs could come in handy down the stretch, as they ordinarily do. Last race for you and me today, Terry. Tomorrow, we'll get back. We'll do Keeneland. Well, actually, I was wrong. The 6 furlongs is how we're going to end it, but still one of the 2 most common distances. But we will do Keeneland tomorrow to make sure you don't miss the Keeneland show, Terry, or any show that we do, because you don't want to miss another $565 pick 4. What should everybody do?
Well, subscribe to YouTube, of course, and then hit the little bell so it lets you know when our programs are coming up. Go down and copy the link and send it to your friends and neighbors, relatives, everybody, so that they can have a chance to see our shows. Go to our social sites at Horse Race, the number 2 day, at Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, X, and Threads, and give us a thumbs up and a like. It really helps us with our algorithms.
Yeah, it does help us with the big tech algorithm. And just today, the women showing that they're the brightest of the bunch. Amanda Lamp and Christy Liebhart giving us a thumbs up on Facebook. Thank you. Along with Philip Perkins, showing that he belongs in that class as well. Philip, a long-time watcher. So thank you, Philip, for your support all the time. Race number 9, Christopher D'Souza says, hey, just stick with the 9 there. Mm-hmm. And race number 8, he likes the 9 too. So why not just go 9-9 double in race number 8 and 9? And then looking here, thanks for the love on keeping a country. Let's go, baby. All right. Are you part of that stable there, Bush Racing stable? Are you the owners on that one? Let us know. Hey, give us some insights, baby. Should we up it in terms of our plays of the day type thing? All right, Terry, race number 10, 6 furlongs. So we're going to close out the Parx car on Terrific Terry Tuesday. What's happening here?
We're going to shorten up to 6 furlongs. It's a $12,500 claiming race. It's a purse of $23,000 for 3-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 2 races.
And at 6 furlongs, tactical speed does pretty good, Terry. The rail does get a big bonus. So Divine Flame Away could flame away today when the race gets started. 2 and 3 play fair. 4 through 7 a discount. 8 and out. Not as bad as 4, 5, 6, or 7. Terry, in race number 10, the final race of the day. When the gates open, it looks like 2 of them will be competing for the lead early on.
That's right. But that 8, I think, is going to outbreak that 5. But who knows? It should be anybody's guess who gets there first. The 4 is got an overlay from even money to 9-2, and the 11 has an overlay from about almost 4-1 to 6-1. The 4, 11, and 5 show the only par plus numbers, and all but the 2 have seasons.
Bunch of dark green there. I think you mentioned the race. Who knows? I think that's about the best handicapping angle I can think of that one, because this race was another one where I considered the all button. Got this 5 want to go fast. This 4 want to close. Sesame Street horse in the middle, man. When you get these lone P horses, even if they look terrible on paper, you really have to give them a second, third, fourth look just to make sure you're not missing anything. Those Sesame Street horses tend to do better than their odds predict. Call My Name along with One Truth. Those two front runners are the fastest of the bunch, a length quicker than Divine Flame Away or Spirit's Hero. So I would think that the 5 horse on the inside should have the edge with the 8 alongside as they head into that turn. Terry, late speed. This one here, Zoppy Fishbayen. Going to be about 2 lengths off everybody else, but does have about a 2-length lead. So at the end, that one also grades out as your top total pace horse, about 3/4 of a length above Calling My Name or One Truth. Look at all these horses right in this mix here, Terry. This one's wide open to close the show. I wish I had enough money on my pick 4 to all it, but I didn't. You went with the 6 horse. Look at how we did here. We just opposite thinking.
That's right. We
all
sure
right, so
were.
why is your 6 going to beat my 4?
Well, he finished in the money his last 3 races and ran second versus similar his last race. So he's very competitive right now. He's really in good form. Number 11, Sporting the Gold, is my second choice. Won his last race at Penn National, not your favorite. And he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Calling My Name, the 8, has finished in the money in 2 of his last 3 races, winning 1 of the starts, and he has a high percentage winning trainer. Then the 4, Zoppy Fishbayen.
You got to, it's German, so you got to say it like you're angry. Zoppy Fishbayen, and you'll be all right.
Yeah, he has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 24% of the races when taking a horse from a sprint to a route to a sprint. Has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. No other bets for me as I'm out of money.
So Christopher D'Souza coming in with the 9 horse, Chasing Whiskey. Something that a lot of young men do. And then when they have enough whiskey in them, they start chasing something else. I like the 4 horse there, Mr. Terry, as my top choice. Zoppy Fishbayen. This one ran the top last race speed figure. Again, 8 points clear of anybody else, according to Andrew Beyer, who is the godfather of speed figures. He says if they have a 3-point advantage over the rest of the field, they definitely deserve your attention. And I've noticed, just generally speaking, regardless of the difference between it and the next horse, top last race speed figure dropping in class, that's a combination that wins a lot. So I think Zoppy Fishbayen might live up to that angry German name. Going to run that way today. Calling My Name, Terry, the 8 horse. Looks like it's the morning line favorite in there. Good chance to be on the lead. The C-Zone says should be comfortable up there. Going to drop in class. Last time out, got the speed, faded. 3rd start after a layoff of the workout in between. More stamina today. One Truth, the 5 horse, another one of those horses with speed and fade. Gonna drop in class. Another horse that's making the 3rd start off of Angle, Terry. But he did run at Penn and won. So, I don't like that. But he ran at Pimlico and won. So I think this horse has shown that he can handle better competition and the other horse to compete for the lead. And then finally, the 6 horse, was a tough call over your second pick, Sporting the Gold, but was facing tougher horses and showed better pace early and late last time out. No wagers for me. Again, I feel like this race is wide open. The 11 horse was next on my list, Mr. Terry. All right, that wraps it up for today. Terrific Tuesday at Parx. Here are all of our picks so far. I think in the opening leg, the 8 horse won, then the 1 horse. We're off to race number 3 in the 10 race card, Terry. Again, you and I will do Keeneland tomorrow. Not so sure about Thursday yet. Tentatively, we'll be off. We'll let you know on our social sites if that schedule changes. On Friday, Tom and I, 22-1 and I, Tom, will return for Foreign Fridays with the Grand National, the roller derby of horse racing. Look at that, 35 horses jumping over 1,000 fences. They run like 17 miles. So it is definitely an interesting race to watch. That's a great pick 3 at the end, 999. Yeah, it's I would take a look at that. Christopher D'Souza liking the 9 horse in the last 3 races, and Terry has it as his 3rd pick in race 9. Outside of that, it doesn't show up in our picks at all. So Christopher trying to blow up our late pick for us. Thank you, Christopher. We appreciate that. Terry, any final thoughts from you before we get out of here today?
Well, just everybody have a great rest of the day, and be good to your loved ones and your friends, and just take it easy. That's about it.
Yes, indeed. No matter what you're doing for the rest of this terrific Terry Tuesday, we certainly hope it does enjoy God's favor, God's grace, and every single thing that you do ends up in our favorite place.
The winner's circle.
Indeed. See you there, and see you tomorrow for Keeneland. Make it a great, terrific Terry Tuesday.